IMEC is somewhat born out of competition for the Brick and Road Initiative. Certainly Biden, when he launched the project together with India at the G20 summit, the Americans saw it as the way to strengthen the arm of India and weaken the arm of China. Now, that's not the European perspective, and it's certainly also not the perspective of the Middle East. There's room for both. The Brick and Road project will move forward, and IMEC is now moving forward strongly. I'm actually traveling to Trieste tonight for a two-day Trieste summit on IMEC. It just shows how relevant it is to European capitals today. I think that IMEC has the potential to do a lot more. And the reason that it's very different from the Chinese approach is its only economy. IMEC can help advance security and stability. And if it's properly designed in some of the ways that we're suggesting, and today that has been adopted by the French, the Germans, and the Italian signatories of IMEC, we're hoping that the European Commission will also adopt this approach, that IMEC can do more than an economy and help advance through renewables, through trade, sustainability. And I think that it really draws from Europe's experience, because stability, Europe was a continent of hundreds of years of warfare too, and to a large degree, coal and steel, the connectivity between coal and steel was at the heart of transforming Europe for stability. At the time of the climate crisis, it's really energy and renewables together with water, as the minister spoke of earlier, that really are the modern coal and steel. And so therefore it's renewables and water that are the new opportunity to not only build growth, but to build stability through healthy interconnectedness.
Thank you. So I think we've got time for two quick questions to our panelists. Oh, there's a question here. Excellent. We've saved all the questions for you.
Gidon, just an update I wanted to give you. 3Cs and initiative you're mentioning are connected, because Greece is a member of 3Cs initiative. Your map was incomplete. So yeah, there is a connection, but it could be used in a larger manner, that's for sure.
Fantastic. Unfortunately, for the moment, Greece is not a member of IMEC. It wants to be.
Okay. Robert, just want to come back to you. I mean, it was very good that you set out, everything that has been happening, which has been quite a lot, in quite a short space of time, and quite encouraging, because obviously we're in a region which is really characterized by an inadequate gas infrastructure, lack of interconnections between networks, inadequate storage, all sorts of problems. And many years ago there was this very ambitious plan to create this new European gas transmission system, which was a project to unite Central and Southeast Europe's natural gas transmission, which kind of, in a way, and there was a lot of enthusiasm about it, but it didn't really materialize. But maybe it's just happening in its own kind, in a different way than many people imagined back in the day, some time ago. So, things are starting to happen, and I guess one of the spurs was this very unfortunate one. The war in Ukraine has been a kind of fulcrum to encourage that to happen. So I just wanted to hear your views about whether you think actually we will get there in this region in the end, to have a more interconnected regional market, because there are big obstacles to that, in terms of harmonizing energy policies, regulatory frameworks, and all the rest of it. If there's a problem in the EU, it's going to be a problem in this region. So there are obviously obstacles, but at the same time, if we were to go in that direction, presumably it would attract more investment too. So what's your perspective now about that, whether it's going to come to fruit?
Well, basically, the major problem within this region and our interconnectivity is political instability.
Yeah.
So in order to create the favorable condition for the energy infrastructure to develop, you need to have the stability because the capital won't come.
Yep.
I think that with the accession and the process of Western Balkan countries joining the negotiation procedure with the European Union, this stability will be created. We believe that it makes lots of sense to create interconnection between all the countries in the region, to create some sort of the, let's call it Western Balkan gas supply ring, which will be supplied from Krk LNG terminal in Croatia, potentially with the Albanian terminal, TAP, and Greece terminals. Now we maybe see with the peace in the Middle East more development in the Mediterranean gas basin, and all that can go to Europe and to these Western Balkan countries.
Yeah.
We work on that. We are cooperating with all our neighboring countries. I believe that very soon we are going to start the Southern Gas interconnection towards Bosnia and Herzegovina. We are developing with Montenegro and Albania Ionian Adriatic pipeline. For Croatian part, we have the building permit almost for half of the pipeline. And next part, we have the environmental and routing things developed, and we are coordinated with our neighbor in Montenegro and Albania how to proceed further on. I think that I don't know, but I believe that the perspective will change, that these countries that heavily rely on coal will not be capable to shift directly to renewables. Mm-hmm. And I think that in the next few years, this decision has to be made, because the countries that I'm talking about are having more and more expensive coal. The facilities are very old, and in maximally 3 years, I think that we will have the major development either toward full renewable energy systems in the Western Balkan, or some transitional period that will be reliant on natural gas.
Yeah. Great, thank you very much. Finally, because we've got to finish, Maja, just to come back to you on the perspective on renewables. As you say, Croatia is still a kind of, relatively speaking, in EU terms, its share of renewables in total energy consumption is still fairly low. I just wanted to know, because everything is changing all the time in this regard, in terms of the targets, to 2030 and 2050, have they changed, and what are they now, and are they feasible?
This is a very good question, because it's coming very soon. Transport, it's definitely the farthest. If you look at the goals that Croatia set for 2030, in all of the topics, it's a big challenge. It's not only transport, which is below 1%, we are at 28%, we have to be in 5 years at 42%. So this is a big challenge, but it's also, as we always say, opportunity, but you have to have this topic as a very strategic point. This is something, and it's not sitting only in one ministry, for energy topic, you have Ministry of Transport, you have Ministry of Agriculture, Ministry of Tourism, Ministry of Economy, Ministry of Environmental Protection. So it requires a big coordination. You often see that some of the countries in Europe are advanced more. They are a role model for us. I think with the potential, and not only Croatia, but Southeastern Europe can do much more. Look at Macedonia and the solar potential there. wind potential also. So all these countries in Southeastern Europe has a strong potential. National targets for 2030 are very difficult to achieve, especially because we know that a part of it was based on how much we fire the wood. So this is something that also already that these targets are, and the percentage, and it's how you treat statistics. Because if you look at Croatia, Croatia is ranked 6th because of the hydro potential. But if you measure it on a monthly, quarterly basis, you know that in Croatia we are minus 23% of the water because of the climate damage. Mm-hmm. If you look at agriculture, and I will be very short, agriculture is the third, Croatia is the third country that pays for climate damages in agriculture. There's a big potential in European countries. You have a map, EU map, 120 agro and floating solar projects. So EU strengthens very much, double use of the land. And you have 2 reports already now how you help agriculture in this respect. 60% increase of crops. You have the temperature during the summer and are less minus 6%, or during the winter you increase with 7% because solar panel is then as an agri-technical measure which protects from the climate damages. So many of the things, Croatia is definitely the best to show how you can be 100% renewable, because if you take this data as economic, if you make it real in this way, you then have 2.5 of GDP and you can save 2 billion of euros on an annual basis in making it, producing it as much as you can in your country.
Okay, thank you very much. That's all we've got time for. Please join me in thanking our panelists. Really interesting discussion.